You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's now time for Nautica de la Cruz. Nautica, take it away.
Oh, it's so nice to see you, Mo. You got to tell me about your trip a little bit later, okay? I want to hear all the details.
Tawala has to tell you. He had the tourism
of a lifetime. Well, you know, it's been hot, Mo. I love to discover SoCal and a little bit of everything, but I kept it in our own backyard. Yes. First of all, it's been very, very hot and my car had some issues. So I decided to go to the Burbank Historical Society Gordon R. Howard Museum. Say that all like 5 times in one breath. It showcases the rich history of Burbank right here in our own backyard. It's not too far from the station, a city known for its pivotal role in aviation, entertainment, and local industry. Founded in 1973, the museum is a volunteer-run organization dedicated to preserving and celebrating the city's past through a wide range of exhibits. Visitors can explore rooms filled with really rare artifacts that covers Burbank's early development, as well as the rise as hub for television and film production, with a focus on the impact of major studios such as, which is also down the street, Warner Brothers and Disney. The museum houses an impressive collection of memorabilia from Burbank's early days. Some highlights include there was a lot of antique vehicles, such as vintage fire trucks, classic cars, along with early aviation artifacts that reflects the city's role in shaping modern flight. Visitors can also see a huge collection of cameras, like when the first camera first came, all the way to the new Canons, film equipment, and set pieces from Burbank's contributions to television and cinema. The museum also offers insight into the city's pivotal contributions to technological advancements in entertainment and aerospace industries, which have been defining elements of Burbank's identity. Now, the first monorail, I don't know if you know this, but the first monorail patent in the U.S. was designed and built in Burbank back in 1907.
I did not know that.
We weren't even thought of at that time. And Burbank was once known, I don't know if you know this too, was once known for its fine wines and large wineries.
Didn't know that either.
Okay. And where are they now? Well, they have been taken by Hollywood. Too bad.
Yeah.
Because I would have loved to have a nice winery here in Burbank. The museum is open on weekends only from 1 to 4 p.m. I suggest that you get there a little early because sometimes it could get a little crowded. And when I went on Saturday, it was a little crowded. The museum provides free admission, so it's free 99 free ski. We love that, making it accessible to all who are interested in local history. The exhibits are thoughtfully curated to offer a comprehensive overview of Burbank's development. And its volunteer staff is very sweet, very knowledgeable. They could answer all the questions that you have. So for more information, you could go to www.burbankhistoricalsoc.org. That's burbankhistoricalsoc for society.org. And I was kind of curious of who Gordon R. Howard was. So he was a significant figure in preserving Burbank's history. He was very instrumental in founding the museum and collecting kind of all the items that were on display, which are tons of them. So just, go through every single exhibit and just look and just really kind of nitpick at the things that they have there from, like some of the first planes that were made here and that were on, there are a few that are on display too. So you might want to check that out. But a lot of great history right here in the city of Burbank. The museum is located at 110 West Clark Avenue. Once again, it's open Saturdays and Sundays from 1 to 4. And, Burbank has been often called Media City. And it's also because, we have Warner Brothers, we have Disney, we have NBC, we have iHeartRadio. So it's been pretty much what Hollywood has been kind of known for. And I've lived in Burbank for 24 years and I've seen it grow. I remember when I first moved here, I would go to downtown Burbank and it was dead, like dead. There was no good restaurants.
Yeah.
There was nothing. Now to find parking, oh my goodness, with 3 theaters, new restaurants, new shops. They now have the Food and Wine Festival. They have Ladies and Gents Night Out food truck, which I love. It's the last Friday of the month. They also have the art festivals, where they showcase people, locally who, make things. And they have, what do you call that too, where they do the stuff on the chalk, like the chalk art too. So Burbank has definitely grown. And this is, if you want to know a little bit more about it, I would say definitely visit. It's free, 110 West Clark Avenue in the city of Burbank. Open Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4. And for more information, go to burbankhistoricalsoc.org.
See, that's the thing about living in this, I'll say, Los Angeles, Southern California area, especially if you grew up here. Mm-hmm. There's so much to do. Most of it you take for granted.
Yes.
You hit the high tourist spots, the amusement parks. Maybe you go to the beaches and you miss, my phrase, the hidden gems of Southern California.
Correct.
Like going to Burbank and just doing the tours of the studios themselves can be a lot. And we just sort of forget that it's right there, usually just waiting for us.
Well, you know what, the other thing too, and I know you and I have discussed this, is that we know that we have all these amazing things, but we really don't see it until we have family come from the East Coast, West Coast,
right,
other parts of the world. And then we go, oh, well, let's take them there because it's like a twofer. I've never been there, but I want to take them there too. Whether it's the Getty, whether it's the Magic Castle, whether it's, Universal Studios, we really do take it for granted and we don't really soak up everything that we have. And I'm very blessed and very thankful that I do get to discover SoCal because it forces me to leave my 20-mile radius. That's what makes me feel comfortable. Even though, like I said, I wanted to be in our own backyard. And so I decided to go there.
Hell, depending on traffic, that 20-mile radius can take you like an hour and a half.
Who are you telling?
In any direction.
Who are you telling?
Oh, my goodness.
And don't let it be a holiday weekend.
Look, I'm only 22 miles from this studio, and getting in, it can take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. 22 miles.
I'm 10 minutes. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm less than 10 miles. And sometimes
that ain't 10 minutes. That's for sure.
Right. No, it's not a mile a minute. That's not how it works in California. But definitely it's a good little quaint place. So, if you want to get to know a little bit, what about, if you're you're coming to this side of town and you want to know a little bit more about Burbank and you're here on the weekends, 1 to 4, definitely go check out the museum. It's really cute.
When we come back, we have the Hidden Gem with Nautica De La Cruz as it's Friday nights with Nautica on Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
But now it's time for more of Nautica De La Cruz.
Well, thank you. Today's hidden gem is Christina Riessen. Christina Riessen always dreamed of writing books and sharing her stories with the world. As a child, she filled countless journals with short stories and poems, pouring her heart and imagination onto every page. She spent hours lost in books, finding inspiration in every story she would read. Christina knew at an early age that she wanted to pursue creative writing and her passion for literature, and it led to lead her to her dream to study abroad. So she went to England and she had the time of her life studying abroad. Her dream became a reality when she got the opportunity to study in England for a year during college. There, she was captivated by the grand libraries, the bustling city life, and the quaint charm of English countryside. She explored the literary treasures of England, visiting famous bookstores and soaking in the inspiration from the landscapes and history. This experience deepened her love for storytelling and solidified her desire to dedicate her life to writing. Upon returning to the United States, Christina wanted to share her love of stories with others. She started working as a substitute teacher in elementary schools, primarily teaching 3rd and 4th graders. Christina found joy in the vibrant imaginations of her students and loved watching their eyes light up as they crafted their own tales. Though she had a bachelor's degree in fine arts, she felt her true calling was in nurturing the creative spark in children and helping them find their voices through writing. Eager to extend her knowledge and do more to inspire young minds, Christina discovered 826 LA in Los Angeles. This organization perfectly aligned with her passion for storytelling and education. She began volunteering, where she could use her creative skills to help students and develop their writing talents. Christina found fulfillment in guiding children to express themselves, write stories, build confidence in their abilities, and so much more. It is there where she just completely found her passion and purpose had come to life. 826LA is a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting students ages 6 through 18 in improving their writing skills and encouraging creativity. 826LA was founded by author Dave Eggers and educator Nineveh Caligari, I hope I got her name right, with a mission to foster a love for writing and empowering young voices. 826LA also offers a variety of programs that provide children with safe and inspiring space to express themselves creatively. They host after-school tutoring sessions where students receive personalized assistance to improve their writing skills, from crafting imaginative stories to mastering the fundamentals of grammar. In addition to tutoring, 826LA organizes organization creative writing workshops that cover everything from poetry to storytelling and journalism and script writing. And they like their kids to think outside the box, and they want their kids to kind of build confidence and just have a creative mind and put things on paper. So it's a really good organization. And I think reading and writing can take your mind to an endless, how should I say, could take your mind to the endless wonders of the world. To unlock your imagination and just to think about new perspectives. It's a really good way to express yourself. And they also are going to have this thing called Poetry in the Park. And if you would like to go, all you got to do is go to 826la.org and RSVP. But I want to say I met this young lady at the library, and I can't remember what section we were at, but we just started talking, and then she talked to me about this book club, and then I went and I showed up at the book club, even though I really didn't know too many people. And I'm one of those people that I'm like, whatever, what do I got to lose? I'm going to show up. And I just want to say to Christina Reeson, I say thank you very much. Thank you for telling me your story. Thank you for telling me about 826la.org. I went to the website and I was just wowed about all the things that they do for kids. So once again, if you'd like to donate or if you would like to get involved, go to 826la.org. And one last note, Poetry in the Park is going to be on Saturday, September 21st from 1 to 3. They would like for you to RSVP online, but they're going to have writing workshops. They're going to have potluck. They're going to have sidewalk chalk. They're going to have drawings, coloring, all kinds of stuff for the kids. And it's just a great way to have the community come together.
I'm a kid who loved creative and expository writing growing up. That was my thing. But also we were expected to read a lot. It was one thing to have these ideas in your head, but reading helped you formulate and kind of like learn how to express those ideas. It could have been poetic prose or something like that, but you learned how to tell stories, learn how to communicate. I wonder, we were talking about your daughter about something else.
Yes.
Last segment. I wonder if her generation grew up reading as much as our generation did. I don't know if they did. I know they have phones, but I don't know if they read a lot of books.
Well, my daughter did. I know at her school, they had to read at least 4 books a month and also do reports. So that for sure. The other thing too is that she was very much into comic books. I wasn't really I didn't think comic, and no disrespect.
You're going to have 12.
Wait.
You're going to have him run in the studio.
No disrespect. No disrespect. But
Mark Rahner is going to get you. Tawala's going to get you.
Okay, but let me finish what I'm going to say, please. Kindly. I like comic books. I love that she liked comic books because that was kind of expanding her imagination into this whole new world. But when it came to academics, sometimes I would go, how is that going to help her? But the fact that she was reading, that's what I really loved. And my niece and my nephews, they love to read. And sometimes I go, yeah, because you have to do it now. But, as you get older, you're like, oh, now I do the audibles, the reading does it for me. You know what I mean? But I love that, when kids are into into books, it really expands their mind, their knowledge, this world of fantasy. There's so much that they could do with just reading and just writing and making up stories. You know what I mean? Storytelling is such a beautiful thing. And even in college, I took storytelling. And, we would have to just make these imaginary stories, and I would go, well, how does this pan out? But it's just, the theater of the mind of kind of playing this movie in your mind. And, you said that you read a lot. You speak very eloquent. You project yourself very eloquent. But that goes from, learning big words, small words, how to put things in sentences. And
I read the dictionary.
You did from front to back?
Not front to back, but there were times where I read just sections of the dictionary. I was that kid who literally, when I heard a word I did not know, because you couldn't look it up back then, you had to run to the dictionary. It's like, I don't know how to spell it. Well, they said, look it up anyway. And I would learn not only how to spell the word, but the different meanings and sub-meanings of a word. Now, it wasn't cool back then. Of course, they made fun of me, but I think it has done me well in the years since. But I'm going to let Mark Rahner have a word in support of comic books and their literary value.
Please.
Oh, well, I mean, I wasn't really prepared to go here, but there's actually been studies showing that the unique way words and drawings are used in comics have an effect on the brain like nothing else, unlike movies or TV or books on their own. Comics are an excellent way to teach kids reading.
And if you've ever read any of them, you would notice that it would help expand the vocabulary because it's written in a way usually which is for a mature adult. Here comes Tuala. Took him long enough to get it.
Oh, no.
All right, come on, Tuala. Get some of this.
I was not trying to disrespect.
No, look, the disrespect was definitely felt, but absolutely. Comic books, for me, that is what expanded my vocabulary. That is what got me into reading books beyond comic books, because when you have stories like those of the Fantastic Four and of the X-Men and just all those comic books where it's not bang, zoom, pow, they are using some real high level vocabulary and storytelling. And to understand that and to get into all this, you have to do more reading, research, pick up a dictionary, all of that. And it takes you to the next level, especially your creativity pineal gland.
Yes.
He went pineal gland.
Right, he did. The only comic books I ever read, because I was infatuated with Wonder Woman. So I loved Wonder Woman. But anything else, I was just like, no. But my daughter's into, I don't know, help me out, guys, Japanese.
Anime.
Thank you.
Manga.
Thank you, Ron. She reads those like there's no tomorrow. And all the books that I bought, I swear I should have invested in stock of Barnes & Noble or whatever.
No, you shouldn't have, because Barnes & Noble's struggling right about now. Okay, we got to get out of here because we have the Rahner Report coming up next. Mark, what are you going to be reviewing tonight?
We're going to talk about Beetlejuice.
Oh.
You can't say it 3 times. You know that, right?
You can't say Candyman 3 times either.
Oh, no.
Did you know that?
Don't bring bad luck down on the whole station, Mo. Come on.
Nautica de la Cruz, fantastic job. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Movies, TV, and pop culture, Rahner Report with Mark Rahner.
Now on Later with Mo Kelly, Mark talks about movies and TV, pontificates about pop culture, Rahner Report with Mark Rahner.
KFI Mo Kelly, Mark Rahner, take it away.
Tonight we're talking about Beetlejuice. Now, cut me some slack if this sounds like a Shaggy Dog story, but when I think of Tim Burton, I think of a scene from an old Sam Peckinpah movie called Ride the High Country. Hear me out. An aging cowboy says he'll testify for one of the men he's bringing in and things shouldn't be too hard on him. What about the other guy he's bringing in? Nope. Well, why? Because the other guy used to be his friend. How that relates to Tim Burton is that he did some incredible singular work as an oddball artist, followed by years of diaper gravy. Now, if that diaper gravy had been perpetrated by any old hack like Rob Zombie, I wouldn't care. But it was done by Tim Burton, the guy who gave us Ed Wood and Mars Attacks. That's the guy who went on to give us a big screen Dark Shadows that was so offensively bad and off the mark that I got furious all over again rewatching it the other night. That's the guy who gave us a more or less worthless and silly Planet of the Apes remake with Marky Mark, no less. The guy who gave us Pee-wee's Big Adventure and the really underrated Sleepy Hollow. He turned around and splattered us with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, okay? I don't want to get into Batman because that could take up a whole show and my feelings about it are complicated. So you'd be forgiven for dragging your feet to see a sequel to a movie you made back in 1988 that I think is pretty universally beloved. Does the Burton family need a new pool? Did he tie up all his money in Twitter and or Tesla stock? Here's a bit of the trailer for Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Here's a preview. Be warned, it's intense.
I can't believe Grandpa's dead.
Death is hard.
Yeah, sometimes I think life is harder.
When I was a teenager, a trickster demon terrorized our entire family and tried to force me to marry him. I believed he was gone forever until you found this in the attic.
Ew. Who's Beetlejuice?
Don't ever say that name.
Beetlejuice.
No, Astrid! I am serious. If you say his name 3 times, he will appear.
Beetlejuice.
The juice is loose. I'm gonna make you so happy.
I think I've reached that Pavlovian stage where just hearing Michael Keaton in the Beetlejuice voice makes me laugh. And I'm not going to drag this out like one of those clickbait stories on Facebook. Here's the deal. About the first 2/3 of Beetlejuice, I thought, well, it's not disappointing. And the final third, I was 100% in and laughed out loud a few times. There are moments in that first 2/3 that drag, and it could have used more Michael Keaton, who is just great fun again as the demon, Beetlejuice. And you can kind of decide on your own that question, that age-old question of whether, say, like more Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs would have lessened his impact. But I know that character's got a little extra baggage lately for reasons I'd rather avoid here. Every minute Keaton's on screen is fun, and that Beetlejuice makeup pretty much negates the fact that he's 73 now. After watching Keaton in Knox Goes Away, which I know Mo also saw recently, I'm starting to think this guy can do no wrong. And that's when they let you down. That's when they screw you. The original Beetlejuice is such a classic that we don't really need to spend a lot of time playing catch-up here. Briefly, Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis played a dead couple who wanted to scare away the family that's just moved into their house, and they enlist this madcap reprobate demon named Beetlejuice, and things get nuts after that. Among other things, Beetlejuice wants to marry the new family's goth daughter, who was played then by young Winona Ryder. In Beetlejuice, which I'm just going to call it B2 now, or it's going to get irritating, Winona's Lydia Dietz is middle-aged, and she's got her own daughter who doesn't like her very much. The ghost couple's long gone, maybe because one of them's on trial in New Mexico for shooting someone. And old Beat's now working in the afterlife civil service bureaucracy from that first movie with a bunch of colleagues who have tiny shrunken heads. But your screenwriting teacher wants to know, what are the inciting incidents? Well, I'm glad you asked. Lydia's dad dies, and everyone has to go back to the old house for his funeral. Now, that dad was played by Jeffrey Jones in the first movie, and Jones later wound up in some fairly serious legal trouble that landed him in the sexual offender database, which it turns out can be a bit of a career speed bump. He's not in the movie, and the way he isn't is pretty creative and funny, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. It turns out there was once a Mrs. Beat. She's played by Monica Bellucci. She's back from the dead and wants revenge. And sort of predictably, the daughter, who is played by Jenna Ortega from Wednesday, which was also a Tim Burton joint, gets into some supernatural trouble of her own, and she needs to be saved. And there we are, back in business. Justin Theroux shows up. He plays Lydia's sleazy heel fiance, and it's such a broad, rote, jerk part that all I could think of was how outright incredible and hilarious he was playing G. Gordon Liddy in White House Plumbers last year. If you haven't seen that, just know that I don't get paid enough to lie to you. I'm no Tim Pool. B2 has its flaws, but it does something that good movies can. There's an insane, chaotic, cartoonishly surreal scene augmented by one of the most just bat crap songs of the 60s, and I'm not going to spoil that either. And I thought in that moment, All right, you've reeled me all the way back in. All is forgiven. Maybe I'll even go back and watch the rest of that Big Eyes movie. But not Dumbo. Dumbo can take his huge CGI ears and fly himself to hell. Are we clear, Mo?
Yes, we're clear, but I have to say that was a very nice shout out to Alec Baldwin in there. I caught what you...
I like to make the pop culture references that the young people appreciate.
No cameo from Jeffrey Jones, huh?
Well, no, he's not in the movie, but I don't want to spoil. There's some really creative stylistic touches in it. It's like the old wacky Tim Burton that we loved when we were younger. He's back. This movie is so much fun.
Okay. All right. I will definitely check it out on the strength of your review, Mark Rahner.
It's important, Mo, that you especially believe everything I say.
Well, I want to be able to blame you if I don't like it. That's all.
Yeah, there's that too. If you hate it, you can put it on me.
Well, I'll do that anyway.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
The legendary music of Sérgio Mendes, who passed away today at the age of 83. That hit, Más Que Nada, was a part of the Brazilian bossa nova explosion of the mid-1960s. And most people may remember Sérgio Mendes in a variety of ways. They may remember him as a band leader. They may remember him as a musician. But I actually backed into learning about him. It was in 1983 when I was listening to the radio and I heard this song and I wrongly assumed it was him singing it when it was actually another vocalist. And for many, I'll say, American listeners who didn't have the reference point of his Brazilian bossa nova history, Nautica de la Cruz, when you think of Sérgio Mendes, what comes to mind?
I definitely think of one of his best albums that, in my eyes, timeless, which he had so many features and so many, he crossed over. He was not afraid.
Case in point. Yeah.
He was not afraid to work with everybody. You know what I mean? Whether you were a new artist or you were, an artist that had been around like Stevie Wonder, he just was not afraid. Music was his passion, his love, and Sergio is going to be greatly missed, but his music is going to live on. And he just really knew how to bring vibes and sound together. And I remember, you remember the movie, Rio?
Yes.
Okay. So, it takes place in Brazil. And I remember watching it with my daughter and I go, if there is not a Sérgio Mendes song in here, we're going to have problems. And then I heard it and I was like, oh, okay. It's beautiful.
One thing, the sad part about someone passing is obviously they're passing. The glad part is people will then get a chance to discover the vast discography, the great contributions to not only genre, but also music history. And Sérgio Mendes is one of those people that I think now, you may know about some of the other Brazilian artists, but you may not have known about Sérgio Mendes when he was best known or what he was best known for. Or maybe you might have known when he did a remake to Más Que Nada with will.i.am.
Yes.
But now they'll be exposed to him more, hopefully.
Yes. It is wonderful to know that he gave us so much music. He gave us a culture to learn about. Brasileiro was something that he was known for. You know what I mean? And his music will expand, and hopefully there will be someone in the future that will go, you know what? I want to bring in that Sérgio Mendes kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Because artists are influenced by other artists.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Rest in peace, Sérgio Mendes, gone at the age of 83, but we will continue to remember him and play his music. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, pull out your phone again, hit that calendar app, go to October, and make sure you just go ahead and put a hold on October 30th, say around 6 to 10 p.m., because you might be busy. And you might have to set aside that time. And if you're wondering whether it has anything to do with Halloween, which is the next day, you might be right. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Perfect for achy, indecisive minds. KFI's cooling Info Gel quickly relieves ignorance and leaves a minty fresh scent.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.